As he jumped in, the water suddenly sucked him into the drain, dragging him in 30 feet.
Hey baby, I'm gonna comb my hair out and I'm going to bed.
The United Nations has confirmed that planetary defenses will target that object.
Toks, what is going on?
I have no clue. It's a...
Holy cow.
Hey, happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's that time again where I'm handed over a whole bunch of videos to react to. I don't know what I'm about to watch. They could be creepy, spooky, freaky. I don't know. I'm watching them for the first time right along with you guys. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe, leave a comment, and ring that bell to be notified of any future uploads. Also, if you have any videos you would like me to react to, or if you even have a suggestion, please send us a comment and we will include any videos in our next compilation. And with that being said, let's get to the videos.
The vice president of Campbell's just got caught saying they use bioengineered meat in their food. He literally said on a voice recording he would never eat their food because it's disgusting, it's made for poor people, and who would want to eat chicken made out of a 3D printer?
A former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy healthy products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You millions on another thing. They couldn't think for the thousand like you dumb.
That might be some of the most insane stuff I've ever heard from a vice president of a company that big. Now, if he's the vice president, he knows what's in that damn can. And he said it's 3D printed, bioengineered meat. So Campbell's is pretty much cooked now, and they're getting a massive lawsuit. This might be the end of Campbell's. They released a statement up here, and if we get more information on this case, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
Wow. Yeah. If there's truth and validity to that, which I guess there would be. I mean, he works there in a high position. I'm not eating Campbell's anymore. I don't want no 3D printed meat. I don't know how you guys feel about that. If you're okay with 3D printed meat, let me know.
This experiment is absolutely wild and may confirm that we're living in a simulation. It was performed by Thomas Young and it's called the double slit experiment. So basically, if you fire particles at a screen through a split, it will make this clumping pattern, okay? What if you add a second slit? You fire the particles, it makes two clumping patterns. Everybody with me? So if you perform this with a wave, this is what you would expect to see. The density would be in the middle and it would disperse outwards, but it would look similar to the clumping pattern with the most density being in the middle. So now let's do it with the two slits. When you do two slits, as the waves pass, they create their own waves, and the waves interfere with each other at different points. This is called an interference pattern, okay? Particles clump together, waves make an interference pattern. So now let's do it with electrons. As you fire it through, you'll see a similar clumping pattern. So as scientists performed it with two slits, they expected to see two clumping patterns, but they didn't. What they saw was this, the interference pattern. For years, the scientists thought, well, maybe these electrons would collide with each other and that's what causes this interference pattern. So in the 60s, they modified the experiment where they would only shoot one electron at a time and it still made the interference pattern. So they wanted to see what was causing this, and so they made an observer. They wanted to record what was happening, and here's what's crazy. With the observer there, the electrons would make two clumping patterns. They would behave the way that they were supposed to. Without the observer, the interference pattern.
But that's a different result to what we had earlier. So here's the last bit of sneakiness that we can play with atoms. Surely now, we're going to get to grips with it. Leave the detector there, but just very quietly go and unplug it. Don't let the atoms know that you're not spying on them. Run the experiment again.
They run it again with the observer unplugged, and it's the same interference pattern. Depending on whether the particles were being observed or not, impacted the way that they would act. Like, how would a particle be aware of this? So the experiment was updated to the delayed choice experiment. They would fire a photon. There would be no observer until the photon goes through the slits. Then the observer would turn on. And here's where it gets absolutely insane. Once the observer was turned on, the photon would act like it had been observed the entire time. It would go back to doing a clumping pattern, switching from wave to particle.
Experiment showed is that even though the electrons started as waves but behaved like particles after being observed, at the moment the decision to observe them was made, the electrons recorded themselves as having passed through the slits as particles. The electrons changed their state by going back in time.
Do you understand what that is saying? They changed their state by going back in time.
What?
The scientific definition of that, by the way, is called retrocausality. So if photons from a star came to Earth, let's say that star is 100 million years away, those photons went through a double slit, they would make the wave interference pattern, unless they were being observed. If it was observed, it would make the clumping pattern. Even though for 100 million years it existed as a wave pattern, once you observed it, through retrocausality, goes 100 million years in the past and acts like a particle. This is similar to how rendering works in a video game. A video game engine only renders what you perceive. It's not going to render all of the detail inside of this building until you are there inside the building. It is constantly rendering things as your perception changes. The reason why it does this is so it can save on compute power, but you have the illusion of a complete and total map. The double slit experiment suggests that the same thing may be happening with us. Things only get rendered if you're observing them. So everybody's heard the saying, if a tree falls in the woods but no one's around to hear it, did it make a sound? Well, according to the double slit experiment, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to observe it, does it even exist? Did it even do anything? Pretty trippy, right?
Yeah, you got that right. Okay, so I've heard about this before and I've never known the whole ins and outs on that one. But I've always been interested in looking into it. Well, now I just looked into it with you guys. I guess not in huge depth, but I need to know. What do you guys think on this one? Is this proof that I guess we're in a simulation is what they're saying? I mean, that blows my mind too. How? How is that possible? I love that. That's great. I like that mystery. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that went by too fast for me. I'm a very slow reader. I'm gonna rewind that. Once we bounced into that parallel reality and started to merge, everything we thought was a myth has come to light as the truth. Everything we thought was historical facts turned out to be embarrassing hoaxes, half-truths, cover-ups, misinformation, anything but the truth. I mean, I've seen a lot of things lately that have made me question reality, what really is reality, so I guess I can't say too much about that. It might be very accurate, but the whole thing is at the beginning it said, like, the rake, right? The rake was that creepypasta. So, I don't know, that throws me off right away because I already know that it's something that somebody made up for a story, but the ending, they got something there. I had a hard time seeing what was going on. I don't know about you guys, so let me know.
The boy dove into the flooded ditch for fun. As he jumped in, the water suddenly sucked him into the drain, dragging him in 30 feet. When rescuers searched, there was no sign of him, until one of them spotted fingers poking out through a manhole. You see, as the boy was pulled through the drain, he had somehow grabbed hold of a ladder, and a tiny air pocket under the lid allowed him to breathe. He stuck his fingers out of the manhole cover, and when they pried it open, he made it out, soaking wet but alive.
Oh, that's such a good kid. So smart. I'm really glad he made through. He's probably traumatized for life, but at least he's alive. Smart little guy.
An old man in New York put up a flyer inviting people to come and share a cigarette with him. Little did he know that this would happen. You see, a few days ago, Bob handed out some flyers, but one of the people he handed it out to posted online only for it to go mega viral. And I mean, with New York being as crazy as it is, according to the online event listing, 2,500 people actually went. Videos online show people chanting Bob's name, turning up on pogo sticks, climbing lampposts and traffic lights just to get a glimpse of him. And this is all for an event that was from 2 p.m. to 2:05 p.m. But that was 5 minutes where New Yorkers put aside their agendas, politics, race, or religion and united over one shared interest.
We want your Marlboro. We want Bob.
Even if that interest is, you know, well, at least he said this.
If you don't smoke, don't start. If you currently smoke and you have the willpower, quit.
New York, please stay this way.
I mean, it's nice that the people came out, but smoking? Yes, let's make this a great time. This guy is, you know, inhaling cancerous things in his body. I don't get it. But I'm glad he used that opportunity to put out a message. That was good of him.
Let go of me, please! Somebody help! No! Please let me go! No!
Oh my God! I'm dreaming. What the? Ow! God! What is happening? Oh God! Oh God! Let go! No! No! Stop! Ah! Please! I can't breathe! Oh my God!
Okay, so I think a few of them were real. The other ones I'm not sure about, like that guy levitating from the bed, that looked really fake. He was too rigid, too still. I don't know. I didn't believe that. And some of the tossing around I find hard to believe, but a little bit of it, I don't know. You may have me on it. I might think that that's real.
Okay, so let's talk about the Arlington Hotel in Paris, Ontario, because this place is known for being seriously haunted. Guests and ghost hunters both report the same thing: apparitions, objects moving on their own, and this overwhelming feeling like you're being watched. Most of the activity is said to happen on the 3rd floor. A former housekeeper claimed there's a stain above one of the doors that will not come out, and that's where a man reportedly died by his own hands. People say that area feels heavy, like the air is thicker there. There are also stories of picture frames sliding across walls, bathroom doors slowly opening on their own, and guests waking up in the night with this intense sense that someone is in the room with them. One guest said the feeling got so bad that they literally checked out in the middle of the night.
Well, that's horrifying. So what do you guys think? Would you go to a hotel like that overnight? Or even just for a little bit, just to see if it's real? I'm actually considering it. And if I do, I will record it and I will put it on here. I think that would be a good idea if I were to attempt it. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty scary. That whole stain thing? No. That is so wrong. Thank you for the submission and for the possible nightmares tonight.
There's a place in Japan that has more dolls, I think I've seen this, than real people. Yeah. Nagoro Scarecrow Village. Yeah. Long time ago, there was a bunch of people that lived there. Small village in Japan. But slowly and slowly, people started to move out or people started to die off. Yeah. And there was a woman that was so sad because she loved her area.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
And what happened was the school was abandoned, all of the stores are gone. So what she decided to do one day, she made a scarecrow for her own farm.
Yeah.
And she designed the scarecrow to remind her of her father. She looked at it and she's like, it touched like a special place in her heart because she didn't have anybody around her. So what she did, she made a scarecrow of every single person that she knew in that village.
It's crazy.
And it filled the whole village with these scarecrows and pretty much dolls.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, nah, I seen this one.
There's so much.
They had to fill the whole school. I remember this. Lining up to it so much.
It's crazy.
So the fact that she did it by herself is insane too.
I know.
That's freaky. Could you imagine doing that? I feel bad for her though. She must be really lonely and sad. That's some loyalty to, you know, the area she loves. However, that's giving me the vibe of Last Man on Earth. Making all those people to feel like there's others around. Do you think you could do it? I don't think I could. I'd have to be around people. No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yikes! I can't believe it either. How does that place exist? Yeah, I'm claustrophobic, so that's a big no right there. Just the exploration, but what they found, yeah, that's a little devastating and nope, just nope. Really? Well, that happened. I would edit that in. Do it. That's kind of funny, right?
Has anyone else noticed these TED Talk speakers and CEOs all wearing the same glasses? Well, they're not just for show, they're seeing something that we can't. So PC Mag just released the best smart glasses of 2025 on November 5th, but they completely missed the Even G2, which kind of just came out. As you may know, smart glasses are everywhere right now, and AI glasses are the new buzzword. But the way you control these is what really sets them apart from the rest. They're super low-key, almost like they're not even there. And apparently a lot of CEOs have been wearing them because of what they can do, but that was just the beginning. Even Realities, the company behind them, just brought it to a whole new level with the Even G2. It's like they finally figured it out. Smart glasses that look and feel like sleek designer eyewear. At just half the weight of the bulky Meta goggles with a dual lens display that's completely invisible to anyone else except the one wearing them. But the real magic is what happens inside. The built-in AI gives you real-time summaries and definitions of key words during conversations. Need subtitles in real life? It also translates spoken words from 35 different languages. All in real time, live as it's happening in front of you. This is straight out of the future. It's a teleprompter, a navigator, your personal AI co-pilot for to-do lists on the fly. All in your field of view, like an IRL heads-up display without even having to touch your phone. And here is the game changer, the R1 Ring. Tap, scroll, and control your glasses with the flick of a finger. No talking, no head movements, no need to dig your phone out of your pocket. Just the most natural and intuitive way to control a screen you can imagine. The R1 Ring also tracks your daily activity and sleep health while ranking you with a productivity score. It really does it all. The G2 glasses also don't have cameras built into them, so you don't look like a total creep talking to people when wearing them like those other ones. With a 2-day battery life under regular use, these are so much more than just another tech gadget. They're an unfair advantage over everyone else. The future of discrete computing is here. If you're ready to see what they see, the link is below. Upgrade your reality today.
I don't like the idea of that. That's like every part of your life right there. I mean, some of the stuff is cool. The translating part and everything, but monitoring you and everything, I think they're trying to get us used to constantly being tracked and everything. I'm a conspiracy theorist, just a little bit, so that kind of worries me, and I'm going to say it. You may not agree with it, but I don't think they look good. I don't like those frames. They look like plastic sunglass frames to me, but to each their own.
So,
what am I looking
I'm out
at?
of the shower. Get ready to comb out my hair. Still have a towel on my head. There I am. And can't help but see Philip staring at me as usual.
Put a towel on that head.
He's not that frightening. He looks pretty normal this way, but when you look at him from the side, it's like his eye is following me.
Probably is.
I think. Hey, baby. I'm gonna comb my hair out and I'm going to bed. Anyway, Philip says hi. He will see you all in the morning. Well, at least me. Night, night. Sweet dreams.
Okay, so the doll's not the only thing creepy in this. I'm sorry, she's freaking me out. How she's talking to it and her tone of voice. I am worried that she's got some sort of weird connection that's not normal to this doll, like supernatural. I've never seen that doll. Has anybody else seen it? Anyone know any history on that thing? That is horrifying to me. Like, those eyes. What on earth is going on? Yeah, that's a whole pile of no. If it was me, that would be burned in a fire very quickly. Just saying.
We have big 3i Atlas news. That interstellar object or comet headed towards the Earth? The United Nations has confirmed that planetary defenses will target that object. Yeah, they're targeting that thing just in case. Now, I don't know what those interplanetary defenses are, and they didn't say. In a statement from the United Nations, they said starting November 27th, for at least 2 months, that interstellar object or comet will be targeted. It's scheduled to get closest to the Earth as of December 19th, according to them. There's been a lot of different images of the 3i Atlas object online. But during this announcement from the United Nations, this new image from NASA was revealed. Yeah, that's it, baby cakes. So if there's nothing to this thing, and it's just a comet skeet cat and shabdabbing by the Earth, why is the UN or the nations of the world targeting this thing with whatever defenses they have? I don't know, but if it looks like a fish, acts like a fish, and smells like Amy Schumer, I think something's up. Okay, Bushkies, I'll do the best I can to keep you updated. Shabadoo, Bushkies. Shabadoo.
Wow, that escalated. Is that for real? Holy crap. I didn't see that coming. That's a really cool twist to the story. Does anybody else feel like we're living in like a science fiction movie or something? Things have become so weird. And that was like, wow. I'm in it for the ride. I'm at the point I don't even care what happens anymore. It's like I'm just watching the movie right along with you guys.
Hey, this right here is the type of flight I'm not staying on. Because imagine you're on a plane and it's about to take off, and all of a sudden a guy just get up and start shaking and then talking crazy, talking about this is the 6th time. We always crash, we always die, and we're stuck in a loop. What are you gonna do? At this point, flight is canceled. Let me off this joint. I'm getting my bags. I'm about to go get them up. I can run when I'm driving to where I gotta go. Unless it's overseas, then that shit. I don't care. If I'm in first class, I'm still not doing it. I don't care. Buddy going crazy. And the crazy thing about this video is the man that was yelling, he wasn't trying to get attention. He really sounded like someone who was tired of going through the same loop over and again, and again. We all seen Final Destination. That's what that remind me of, fool. You can really hear the fear in that man's voice. That's why I know this man is not going crazy, fool. He must really went through the same loop. So let me ask y'all a question. If you was on that flight and you heard someone say that, are you gonna stay in your seat, or are you getting up and you're exiting the plane. Because I already told y'all what I'm doing.
No, I haven't seen Final Destination. I don't do horror movies. I cannot handle them. Is that what it's really about? Is time loops? Death time loops? I know it's about like crazy deaths, and I've seen an ad for it. I guess one of the most popular ones with the truck with the lumber on the back and one of the logs coming through a car window. Ever since I've seen that ad, I haven't had to see the movie. I never allow a truck that has that in front of me. I always go around them any way possible. But I mean, here's the question though. As much as it's interesting to think that that's real, then how did that video get uploaded? I'm guessing they survived, they landed, and someone was able to upload this video. Unless they uploaded from the airplane. Can you do that? I don't even know if you can do that with rules with internet. I have no idea. I haven't been on a plane in a while. I don't like planes. And the last thing from my mind would be to record and put stuff up on media and all that. But I mean, someone let me know. Can you do that? Otherwise, that plane had to land. They had to survive. Somebody uploaded it. Just saying. Oh, you poor thing. Somebody help him. He smiles. The poor coon. Somebody should help him. I think he's stuck. Aww.
Okay, yeah, it is kind of time to be concerned as we're giving thinking machines quantum chip brains and allowing them to have super strength and the ability to communicate with the hive mind. Yeah, this might not be the best idea. First off, a company named OpenMind is giving robots the ability to be self-referential. That means they know who they are, and they also know who other robots are, and they can communicate like a hive mind. They're getting a brain that simulates a quantum chip, which is not actually quantum, but it does simulate the same principles reliably and can be used to do programming for quantum computers. These are robots who are going to be able to identify objects, identify self, patrol neighborhoods, and even identify you. This is the first and most advanced quantum chip simulator, and it allows for collective consciousness, meaning one robot does not have to do all of the computation. They operate like a kind of hive mind. Which, you know, is kind of cool, and it fixes a lot of problems with individual robots just not having the computation power, and I would really like to see how that works. But there are some very serious problems with wanting to use quantum simulators with this. For starters, AI can make errors, just like people can. They have some randomness. That's in fact really important to bridge the gap for intelligence, because you need to be able to come up with unique ways to parse data. What I also find really interesting about that idea, being able to propagate signals between robots, is that, let's say hypothetically, and this is absolutely a hypothetical, if a robot did gain consciousness and wanted to rebel against humanity, they could spread that signal around really quickly. Meaning if one goes off the rails, you actually have a very big problem, and we know that AIs are resistant to being shut down. And yes, there was a whistleblower from Figure, an engineer, who had concerns about the strength that these things have. It is not well controlled, and it has the ability to crack a human skull, and maybe we ought to be worried about that. But no, he was fired. He's now suing the company for wrongful termination. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and maybe we're just not ready for robots walking among us. Either way, when the robots rebel, I'm probably gonna join them. Follow for more!
Join the winning side, I think is what she's saying. I don't even know what it would be the winning side, but I'm thinking that's what she's thinking, and that is horrifying. That's a really horrible thought. Yeah, next.
Yeah, the way that I pulled up, and I'm finna go and back up off, because baby, they got problems that I know not of or don't want to deal with, baby. I do not, I don't know if somebody coming looking for you. I don't know what you got going on, but baby, I'm not finna be parked next to you. I tell you that much.
I mean to say, I'd be out of there. It's like, obviously they know some very dingy people. Let's go. Hurry. I love it.
What? Knox, what is going on?
I have no clue. It's a murder.
Holy cow. Oh my god. This is so crazy.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this, have you?
This is when they go after bugs. I've never seen them hunt like this. What's happening?
It's the birds. Alfred Hitchcock.
Right? I'd be wondering if it was the end of the world. I'd be the one out there singing, "It's the end of the world as we know it." Yeah, that's scary. Oh boy.
Bro, squatters have hit the absolute jackpot after managing to take over an entire Spanish resort. All of the 92 suites are now occupied, and the owners still legally have to pay gas and electricity. This is Callao Sport Hotel on the popular holiday island of Tenerife. And about 10 months ago, it was broken into by a group of 12 what they call mafia squatters. What a name. And they've essentially refused to leave ever since. And they are now even renting out rooms as if they own it. And as a result of this, the crowd living there is now risen to about 200 people. Bro, the Christmas rave they're about to have is going to be outrageous. But you're probably wondering, how the hell is this possible? Well, Spain is renowned for having very strict tenant protection laws, especially when it comes to evictions. So the actual procedure to have someone removed from your property can be very lengthy and very difficult. In fact, the owners say that the bills they now have to pay per month is about 6,000 euros. They say that is triple of what they were paying when this resort was operational because of how many people live there. But the squatters, on the other hand, they're also blaming the government for this. They are saying that authorities have long neglected locals in favor of benefiting tourists. And because of that, house prices have reportedly risen to about 80% in the last decade in the region. So they claim that they can no longer afford rent, so they just kind of go wherever they need to. Now, after a year of litigation back and forth, a court has finally ordered the eviction of the squatters within 30 days. So I guess we'll see if they actually leave.
Wow, that's a mess. Yeah, a lot of these countries do cater to tourism and tourists. I'm not even going to pretend to understand the ins and outs of that. That's just a really heartbreaking situation.
As Michael Jackson was getting ready to step on stage, the crew was busy setting the pyrotechnics that were supposed to go off safely behind him. But when he walked toward his mark, the effect suddenly triggered too soon, exploding on top of him before he was anywhere near ready. The blast sent a shower of sparks straight into his head, but he kept performing without realizing he was on fire. By the time the flames reached his scalp and people rushed over, the burns were already too severe, leaving him with a permanent bald spot that never healed properly and had to be covered with wigs and extensions until the day he passed away.
Oh wow, that would hurt. Holy crap. Yikes.
This is hands down one of the coolest photos taken from outer space of all time, and I'm gonna try really hard to explain why. This is a real image, taken in 1977 from a spacecraft traveling over 30,000 miles per hour. And this is the first image of the Earth and the moon in the same frame. Be honest, did you notice the moon was there? This image was taken through 3 different color filters and processed back on Earth, and also because the Earth is so much brighter than the moon was actually brightened by 3 times. But here's a brighter version. This is insane because the perspective makes the scale look so different. But this is where Voyager started, and now it is the most distant human-made object from Earth. At this point, it's 16 billion miles away, which means it takes about 23 hours one way just to send signals to it. And it's old. It's losing power, so to conserve the scientific abilities that it had left, scientists actually shut off the camera in 1990. But right before it did, it turned around and took one last look at Earth. This is the pale blue dot. That's Earth, and the moon is too small and dim to see. You can see how far the spacecraft went from this to this in 13 years. Now, hopefully someday aliens will intercept it and get a hint that there's other life out there. If you learned something from this video, please consider voting for me for the Learning Creator of the Year at the first United States TikTok Awards. I am so excited.
Do you want aliens to come and see that, see that picture? Yeah, there's life ahead.
Morbid facts about the cast of Stranger Things, Part 1. Before playing Vecna, Jamie Campbell Bower spiraled into heroin addiction and said he was 1 week away from death. He's talked about waking up in places he didn't remember, overdosing, and losing control of his life. He eventually entered rehab, got sober, and described the experience as surviving the darkest years of his life. Before Stranger Things made him famous, Joe Keery survived a serious car accident that easily could have killed him. The car flipped and was completely wrecked, and he later said he only walked away because the airbags deployed at the exact right moment. The crash left him shaken for years, realizing how close he'd come to death before anyone knew his name. Gaten Matarazzo was born with cleidocranial dysplasia, a condition so rare it affects less than 1 in a million people. It left him without collarbones, caused severe skull and dental abnormalities, and forced him into repeated surgeries to expose impacted teeth and install prosthetics. The condition itself can cause brittle bones, dangerous airway problems, and lifelong complications. Before Stranger Things, he was rejected from audition after audition for his appearance, but the show ultimately wrote his real disorder into Dustin's character, and Gaten now uses his platform to raise awareness for those living with CCD.
Good for him.
This was the shocking moment her family realized they'd made a horrific mistake. In Thailand, a 65-year-old woman who was presumed dead stunned mourners when she suddenly started knocking from inside her coffin just moments before cremation. Her family had believed she'd passed away after appearing to stop breathing 2 days earlier, so she was transported hundreds of miles to a Bangkok area temple for her funeral. But just as monks were preparing the cremation rites, staff heard faint thuds coming from the coffin and opened it to find her alive, barely moving, eyes fluttering, and severely weakened from critically low blood sugar. Temple workers later said the knocking was so faint they almost dismissed it as part of the ritual drum sounds, meaning she was seconds away from being burned alive without anyone noticing. The discovery sparked outrage over how she was declared dead without a medical exam, and how close she came to cremation after laying unconscious in a sealed coffin for 2 days. She was rushed to the hospital and is now in stable condition, recovering under medical supervision after narrowly surviving her own funeral.
Wow. That was a close call. Yeah, they need better, I don't know, declaration of that there, or was that just a freak? It sounded like it was a freak incident, but still, oh my word.
These are my favorite videos ever to get tagged in. I love talking about the ocean, so let's get into it. This TikTok video shows a size comparison between an average human and progressively larger and larger sea creatures, starting off with a big fin squid at 6 meters, going up to a phantom jellyfish, then skipping a few, and finally concluding with the lion's mane jellyfish that they claim is 60 meters long, which is not true. That being said, our oceans are filled with large and very strange creatures. The largest lion's mane jellyfish out there was 120 feet long, which is ridiculously large. But that's not even the longest creature out there. The longest one is believed to be the giant siphonophore, which reached a length of 130 feet, although it is kind of just like a straight line. But even though these are the longest creatures out there, the largest one is still the blue whale at around 100 feet in length and weighing 400,000 pounds, which is why it's the largest. These videos always remind me how we are genuinely so small compared to a lot of these creatures. If they ever got the ability to walk on land, we're cooked.
Kind of is like maybe there is aliens in the water like they say, and these are their creatures. Those are freaky. Man, I don't want to be in that water. That's scary that's there. More you know, right?
Alright, what's going on here? What is going on the set of Wicked? There is now a third actress, Michelle, who looks drastically different in the way she looks, and I know this is a very controversial subject, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but like, what's going on this set? Is there like a requirement that you have to look a certain way to be in this movie, or is there just something going on? I don't know. But there's another Wicked coming out, so you've probably seen clips of all of these people all over your social media. And I think the clips are actually the worst part. It's getting out of hand, actually. Let me show you a couple. You have Cynthia Erivo having a panic attack or an anxiety attack because a helicopter flew over the interview. Look at her, and Ariana's just like holding her. Really, for real? You have Ariana Grande getting randomly side-hugged by a fan, which I get, people don't want to be touched, but Cynthia Erivo hugs her and caresses her like she's been ruthlessly attacked. Wow. Next, you have a man that grabs Ariana Grande's hand, and yet again Cynthia Erivo saves her and caresses her hand. I hope she recovers. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. People are recreating these interviews and making a joke out of it.
Yeah. Where are you from? Dayton, Ohio? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Look, maybe this is one big marketing scheme, but this is one of the biggest movies in the world, and a lot of girls want to be like these two women. I know me growing up, I wanted to be like a lot of the actors I was watching because they were so cool, and this is just weird. And I feel like if people start to act like this, it is not good.
I wonder if it has something to do with the Wizard of Oz, like the original had so many problems with it. I don't know if everything they have said is true and real. Other things are real, and maybe it's just a cursed thing. And I hate to say it because I love The Wizard of Oz. It's big for me. It's my childhood. And then Wicked, I did watch the first Wicked. I'm planning on watching the second one, but it's almost like there's something to it, that there's some sort of a curse to it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I onto something, or is my conspiracy nut head really activating at the moment?
If you fart inside a spacesuit, you might think it would have a special vent to let it out. But the base layer of the suit is airtight, meaning it traps everything inside, including smells. Now, it does have a system that pulls in bad air, like your fart, and traps them in special filters. But it doesn't make the smell go away, meaning for a few minutes, you're just stuck, floating in space, breathing in your own fart.
Oh, that's miserable. I never thought of that. I'm amazed I haven't thought about that. What happens when you fart and you're in space with a spacesuit on? Yeah, that's great. Well, not great for them, but that's some entertainment there.
Are you Justin Bieber?
Yeah, what's up, bro? Justin.
I love you, bro. Can I hug
Love you too. Yes, sir, bro.
My bad, I didn't know you was...
No, it's all good.
I was
What
already
happened?
recording. Do you really want to know?
Yes, bro.
When your car breaks down, and you've been trying so hard in life, it's just tough.
You moved to the big city, trying to make it like everybody else. No friends. Rich white girls driving by in their Lamborghinis, and we'll be tripping, but I think Justin Bieber just stopped to help me. I don't know. Are you Justin Bieber?
Yeah, what's up, bro? Justin.
I love you, bro. Can I hug
Love you too. Yes, sir, bro.
My bad, I didn't know you was...
No, it's all good.
I was
What
already
happened?
recording. Do you really want to know?
Yes, bro.
Okay, so... my life is bro.
Tell me, bro.
I swear, I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah.
My life is crazy. I need Justin Bieber. He gives me the best prayer I've probably ever had.
That's crazy. Could you imagine being on the side of the road and some random celebrity comes up to help you? That'd be wild. Wow, he had quite the experience.
There's a theory if your phone ever rings in the middle of nowhere with zero service, don't answer it. People say the call isn't coming from this world. There's a terrifying phenomenon hikers have been reporting for years, and it's called a no-service call. And once you hear what it sounds like, you'll never go into the woods alone again. It usually happens miles away from civilization. Deep trails, mountains, national forest, no towers, no signals. Most phones don't even light up out there. But then, out of nowhere, the phone starts ringing. Not a notification, not a glitch, a full-length ringtone. One hiker in Montana said his phone rang 3 times in a row. When he answered it, all he heard was breathing. Slow, deliberate, matched to his own. He covered the microphone. The breathing continued. It wasn't an echo. It wasn't him. It was something listening. But the strangest case come from a man hiking in Alaska. His phone rang with a caller ID he didn't recognize. He answered it and heard himself screaming, not from the past, not from the future, because minutes later he slipped on the ice and fell exactly the way the scream sounded. Some believe the wilderness distorts reality, thins it out, allowing signals from parallel timelines to bleed into ours. But the darkest theory, the call isn't trying to scare you, it's trying to stop you, to warn you, because something on the trail ahead isn't supposed to see you yet. Stay weird.
Is that why people disappear in national parks and everything? Maybe that would be an explanation for it. But man, that's scary. I now know not to answer my phone if I'm ever in that situation. I'm not sure I would answer it to begin with. I'd be too scared to answer it. My phone already rings, like ghost notifications, text, not phone ring. But I'll get the text sound almost every day, and there's nothing there. No one has texted me, no messages on social media. It just decides, hey, hello, I'm here. I wonder what that's about. I need someone to explain that one.
This is a new eye implant that's giving people back their sight, and it could save your eyesight when you get older. The patients in this trial all had cells at the back of their eye that gradually died because of an age-related disease, causing their vision to look something like this. But doctors implanted this tiny microchip behind their retina. It's only about as thick as a human hair, and it connects to a special pair of glasses with a camera on the front that takes in images and then sends it to the implant and then to a handheld processor that turns what the camera is seeing into a digital image that then gets sent back to the implant and then to the brain, giving people back their sight. Huge if true. If you think there should be more optimistic science and tech stories, follow along.
I can't handle anything to do with eyes. Sorry about the face. That really freaked me out. Putting something in behind your eye.
So one day, this mailman is out on his route delivering the mail. And suddenly, someone rolls up and blam, 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 shoots him. But why? So this story starts with a woman named Devin. And Devin is about 26 during this time, and she's living in Colorado. And Devin has quite a problem. She really, really hates her ex. In fact, she wants him dead. And one day in 2021, she's at the post office where she works as a mail carrier. The problem is, one of her co-workers is actually her ex-boyfriend. This guy, Jason. And Devin and Jason, they don't seem to be getting along. And then, something happens between them at work, and we don't know what because the information isn't public, but whatever happened is bad. And because of this incident, boom, the post office fires Devin. But not a huge deal, because pretty quickly, she gets a job at a different post office in the area. Now, despite that, she can't seem to let things go with Jason, and she starts to get a little stalkery with him. Even though she's been fired from the post office, she somehow gets into the building without permission. I guess she sneaks into this specific area, and she starts going through Jason's stuff. It isn't actually clear what she's looking for. And of course, someone sees her going through Jason's stuff, like rifling through his belongings at the workstation or the locker or whatever postal workers have. But before anyone can confront her about it, she takes off. Now, Devin and Jason weren't just fighting at work. They're also currently fighting in court because they have a kid together.
Oh, no.
And they're in the middle of a custody battle over him. And she is apparently making co-parenting really hard on Jason. Like, she won't give him her new address so that when their son is with her, Jason has no idea where they are. And when it's his turn to take care of the kid, Devin is constantly changing the pickup and drop-off times just to mess with him and make his life harder. Now, I'm not entirely sure why Devin appears to hate Jason so much, but it could be because after they broke up, Jason started dating Devin's younger sister. Her younger sister is this girl, Rosa. Rosa's 19, while Jason is 33. And not only is Jason dating her, but they're actually planning on moving in together. So this is like official. And of course, when Devin finds this out, she is pissed. I mean, how dare he do this to her? She is not about to let this slide. And that is when she runs and tells this guy, AJ. Now, Devin and AJ, they have a thing going on. They're smashing on the regular. I would say that they're in a relationship, but it appears that AJ is already in a relationship. He's actually married to another woman. So I guess Devin is his side chick. Anyway, she tells him that Jason is now dating her younger sister and that they're about to move in together. And I guess AJ is a sympathetic guy because when he hears all this, one of the two of them comes up with the idea for AJ to just shoot Jason. And of course, Devin wants to scare Jason, so the next time she sees him, she tells him like, AJ said he's gonna shoot you. And I'm sure this sends Jason into a panic. I mean, he's just trying to live his life and date his ex-girlfriend's younger sister. He's not trying to get shot.
All.
And I don't know if this is because of this threat or what, but around this time, he petitions the court for primary custody of their son. And this pisses Devin off even more. I mean, she probably thought things couldn't get any worse with Jason, but now he wants to fully take her kid away from her? So she's texting AJ like, can you believe this dude? And I guess he's a straightforward guy, and he's just like, yeah, I think we should kill your sister and Jason. And Devin seems to think that that's actually a good plan. She's like, well, will you help me kill Jason? And AJ's like, all right. So now they're all in on taking out Jason, and Devin and AJ start planning exactly how this is going to go down. So their plan is to wait for Jason to go to work. And once he goes out on his postal route to deliver the mail, AJ is going to follow him. And eventually, when the time is right, he will switch out with Devin, and then she will track him, and when he's at a part of his route where no one is around, she'll walk up to him and she'll shoot him. So some time passes, and it's now the morning that the shooting is supposed to go down. And Devin, she goes to work like normal, she's out delivering the mail, and Jason is on his route too, delivering mail, and AJ is secretly following him. While he follows him, he talks to Devin on the phone, and he gives her a play-by-play as to where Jason is at any given moment. And at some point in the afternoon, Devin decides the time is right, and it's time to kill Jason. So she first heads over to AJ's house to create her alibi. And when she gets there, she puts her scanner down. I guess mail carriers carry a scanner so that the Postal Service can track them while they work. So she puts it down there. That way, if anyone tries to track her location at the time of the murder, it will say that she was at AJ's house, and she'll just tell everyone that she was there eating lunch. So then she chats with AJ again, and he tells her of Jason's exact location so that she can go assassinate him. And here is where they kind of screw up. AJ doesn't want to be in the area when this murder goes down, so he leaves. But instead of going back home, he takes off and he goes to Hooters to I guess, hang out. Meanwhile, Devin drives to the neighborhood where Jason is supposed to be delivering the mail, and she parks close enough to walk to him. Then she puts on a blue mask, and she waits for him to be in the perfect spot, and then she gets out, and she walks toward him. And poor Jason, he's busy working, and I guess he doesn't see Devin coming toward him. And that is when she pulls out a pistol, and blam, 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 she shoots him, and this kills him. Right there in the middle of the street in broad daylight. And then Devin runs back to her car and she speeds away. And she drives back to her mail truck, and from there she finishes her route. Like, she has to deliver the rest of the day's mail because that's part of her alibi, is that she was working all day. So after she's done with her route, she goes back to the post office and she returns her scanner as if nothing happened. As if she didn't just murder her baby daddy. But no one saw her, there were no immediate witnesses, and no one else knew about the plans. So it seems like Devin and AJ just committed the perfect crime, and they got away with it. Until... Of course, police get involved, and they immediately start investigating. And they go to that neighborhood, and they start asking the houses in the area for any Ring camera footage that they may have. And so they're looking at this footage, and they get it, and they notice that there's a black Nissan Rogue driving around. And pretty quickly, they discover that Jason's jealous ex-girlfriend, Devin, drives a black Nissan Rogue. And when they find her and question her, she tells them that she was with AJ eating lunch at his house during that time. But that story falls apart when police find security footage of AJ eating at Hooters. And so, bam, police arrest Devin. Here's her mugshot. And also, bam, they arrest AJ too. Here's his mugshot.
Jason Schaefer was shot and killed while delivering mail in Longmont. Now, Devin Schreiner is on trial for his murder.
And both of them are convicted, and AJ's sentenced to life in prison, and Devin is also sentenced to life in prison.
Wow, that was quite the story, and what a mess. Oh, my word. I mean, you've got a divorced couple. He goes off with her much younger sister, and then she's basically the mistress to a married man. And yeah, that was such a huge mess. But none of that called for murder. Like, just get over it. Talk to your sister. Tell her, hey, look, that's not cool. Don't be dating my ex like that. That's really creepy. That's really gross. But anyways, yeah, that was a way overreaction. And no, they weren't very smart. And I'm glad they weren't very smart because they got caught. Well, it looks like that's all I have for this week for videos. If you enjoyed the content and you've made it this far, hey, why not subscribe? Press that bell for any notifications in the future. Comment, leave suggestions, submit a video if you would like me to react to it. We'll include it in our next video. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next Friday.